Summer is when like the fairies and that are out, in my opinion. That's when that magic comes alive. Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we're doing my summer book recommendations. So we have this lovely stack that we're going to be talking about today, and you can already see the one that's on the top. As I've been doing for all of these seasonal book recommendations videos, these don't necessarily take place in summer, but they remind me of summer, which I will explain as I go through. So the first one, we have Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Oh my gosh, I need a reread. I think this book is just so beautiful, and the reason why I say this reminds me of summer is because of our main character, Laszlo Strange. He is just the happiest, nicest cinnamon roll of a character you will ever meet. He is just so lovely. Even someone that is in this book who is quite rude to him, he doesn't hold it against them. He's like, it's fine, it's not a problem, I'm still gonna help you. And I'm just like, you are just amazing. But we're in this world where Laszlo Strange is constantly dreaming of another place called Weep. Nobody can remember its real name at all because there's something that happened and everybody just forgot and just referred to it as Weep. So Laszlo has been working in the archives for years and been trying to gather his own research and anything he can find on this place at all, until one day a delegate arrives from there saying they need help, and Laszlo gets to go. It's amazing, it's brilliant. I love the fact that they're all, you've got a bit of travelling as they go, you've got them all trying to help this city that's happened because they're kind of stuck with this monument hovering over them. There is also a lot about dreams and nightmares in this, and it's just fantastic. There is a romance in here. It is so innocent and pure and slow growing, but I have to admit, prepare the tissues because oh my gosh, did I cry at the end of this. I sobbed, which, you know, you think summer, really? You don't want to be crying in summer, but you do get rain in summer, so it works. But honestly, I love this book, and it's just so beautiful and magical and lyrical, and it's just, I loved it. I think because it makes me so happy, it's a perfect time for summer, because summer and me equals happiness. And then we have Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa, and this is another fantasy. This is a YA fantasy. I kind of find this one a bit awkward because Strange the Dreamer is in the adult section, but I would say that also reads like YA, but it's UK, I don't know how they work it out. But this one is so much fun, and the reason why this one reminds me of summer is honestly one of our main characters, Yumeko. And Yumeko is a proper sunshine character. She always looks on the brighter side of things. She's also a trickster, she is a kitsune, so she is constantly just having fun, causing mischief, and even when there is something really terrible happening, because she's been brought up at this holy place that then gets ransacked by a demon, and her life is literally ripped apart, and she has to go on this travelling quest to protect this scroll, and she then tricks the help of a samurai who is after the scroll into helping her get to the next temple, where she says the scroll actually is hidden, but obviously it's not because she's got it on her. So it's like a travelling story, there's demons involved, there's fight scenes and everything, but Yumeko remains this ray of sunshine throughout this book, and it's so amazing. This is probably one of my absolute favourite YA trilogies. Like, amazing. Again, another reread is due. I love this so much, and again, Yumeko just being that happy, fun character that raises everyone else's feelings when they are feeling low is just pure enjoyment. It's just, she is a creature with a pure soul that is just filled with mischievousness and constantly trying to make everyone feel happier, and it's just perfect. I loved it so much. I think it's fantastic, and I like the way that their little travelling band grows, how they actually get people. You've got a lot of Japanese mythology in this that really weaves together this story, and it's just fantastic. Plus all these covers are just stunning as well. So yeah, I would highly recommend this, especially in summer, just because of Yumeko and how she imbues sunshine to me in her personality. If you haven't read this, please do. Then we have another mythology inspired, but this time Greek, and we have Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. And I put this one as a summer recommendation because this one is all about female empowerment. It's really well done. Jennifer Saint has done 2 books now, and both of them have been following female characters from history who get overlooked a lot within these stories, and you know about the men in these stories 100%, but you don't know the female and you don't know what they've had to go through. And I think it's fantastic. I think it does a really good job of showing you how strong women can actually be and how these characters from mythology should never have been overlooked and what a crime that is. And throughout this like Ariadne story, she makes a lot of references to other women in Greek mythology, which kind of builds this foundation of how women in Greek mythology are always so mistreated by men and gods and are just pawns for them to be used. The imagery is lovely. Obviously it's set in Greece, which, you know, beautiful sunshine and just warm, very, very good. This book also reminds me a bit like Circe, so if you have enjoyed Circe and haven't read this one, I would recommend this one as well. This is kind of like a more accessible version of Circe, I would say, but obviously not following Circe, we're following Ariadne and her sister, and it's just brilliant. I loved this book. I think it's really, really well done. I would highly recommend both Ariadne and Electra. I do think Electra is a bit darker, so that one in my mind kind of sits more with like end of autumn going into winter, whereas this one is still got a sad ending, but just the imagery and the way it's written is just a little bit more hopeful, if that makes any sense. I didn't even say what this was about. So this is Ariadne, who is the sister to the Minotaur, which we obviously know from the Minotaur and the Labyrinth. Theseus comes along to slay him, and how Ariadne actually helped make that all happen because she just couldn't support her brother in what he was doing anymore. It's that story, and how she gets betrayed but then makes her life have meaning to her anyway, and what she then takes from all of this. And it's very well done. Another YA fantasy with, I believe, again, mythology influence. Clearly I have a thing for mythology influence, which shouldn't be a surprise. And that is Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. To be fair, any of Elizabeth Lim's books would work for this. Fantastic, amazing. I love them. The same as this one could also be in place with Stephanie Gabar's Once Upon a Broken Heart, because I think that one's absolutely lovely, but I feel like I've already mentioned that one in the spring recommendations. Either way, it's lovely, and I think the writing in this is just fantastic. It's so lyrical. There's so much beautiful imagery within this book, and I adore it. We are following our main character, Shiori, and she has 6 brothers who get turned into cranes by their stepmother, and Shiori's on a quest to get them back into being human again. She struggles with this quest because she's not able to talk or anything like that, so she's constantly, even though she's a princess, people constantly treat her like she's just lower society, you know, she's just this stupid little girl who doesn't know how to talk and stuff, and she's just a street urchin as far as they're concerned, the lowest of the low. And so you're seeing her as she fights to get back into her family, to save her family, and just that determination that she carries throughout this. But again, she is someone that, even though all these horrible things happen, and even though she goes through such sad moments where she's alone, she's also hopeful and will stop at nothing to get this quest done. We also have a dragon involved in this and a little bit of magic, and I think it's lovely. I think it's a really, really beautiful book. I sped through this. The second book is coming out later this year, and I'm super excited for it. It's beautiful. I mean, look at this book, it's beautiful, but it really is a fantastic, whimsical story. It really does feel like a fairy tale story, and I think, again, that's perfect for summer, in that just summer is when like the fairies and that are out, in my opinion. That's when that magic comes alive. That's what I feel like. I mean, you could completely disagree with me, but that's what I feel like. Okay, last 2, we have a classic, and that's Emma by Jane Austen, and this is a book that I've only read recently, but I loved this book. I thought it was so much fun, and Emma is a matchmaker who gets herself into trouble a heck of a lot, who is not the best friend to have, but is just someone that's so herself. Like, she knows that she's not the best character, she knows that she's got things to work on, or well, she learns that as she goes along in the book, but she's just so young and full of life and constantly trying to see the best in things, and adores trying to make happy couples happen, like, but she will say things that is quite hurtful and stuff without thinking. She acts like a child, and it's just so much fun. And I really can say that this is probably, out of the 6 main books from Jane Austen, the most fun one that I've read. Again, we do have our character flaws. Do not go into this thinking Emma is a perfect person, because she's really not. And I do feel so sorry for someone that she takes on as her best friend, because the way she treats her is just, yeah, it's not the best. I love it. Yes, it's predictable in who the love interest is going to be, how it's all going to end with this book, but it is a Jane Austen book. I'm used to that by now. I do love how at the start of this book, Emma is very much like, I don't want a husband, I don't need children because I've got nieces and nephews, and then obviously watching her progress and everything. It's a fun book. It really is. I think it's also one of the easiest to actually get into. Like, this one, there was a lot happening straight away in terms of Emma in her matchmaking. Like, you get that straight away, which I really liked in this book. And then you have obviously her love interest, who is constantly being like, should you be acting this way, Emma? Shouldn't we be a bit better than this by now? And is constantly just prodding her to help her with her character growth as it goes along. And I think it works really well. But yeah, I really did enjoy this one, and as it says on the back, it is a comic masterpiece, because Emma Woodhouse is rich, charming, spoilt, obsessed with matchmaking, and blind to everyone's faults. It's good. It's so much fun, and I think, again, as I've said, you know, summer is that time for fun as well, so this one made me happy when I was reading it, so perfect. And then for the final book, I've gone with a manga, and this one is Sailor Moon. This is so good. I love this. Like, Sailor Moon is something that I watched the anime growing up, and as an adult I've just been getting into the manga. I've read the first 4 and I cannot wait to continue on with it. This is so much fun. This is a middle grade manga. Again, it's just one that is fun and heart-filled, and as the series progresses it does get into a bit of like darker and what they're trying to deal with, because we have a group of school children who turn out to be guardians of the moon and Earth. And they have different planets that they associate with, apart from Sailor Moon, because obviously that's the moon. And each one has their own elemental power that's connected with their planet. So for example, Mercury is water, Mars is fire, etc, etc. I really like this because you're seeing how this group of friends come together, because they're not normally people that probably would have hung out and done all of that, but you see how they form their friendship together through all of this. And then you also have the different characters and their own little quirks, which I like, and Sailor Moon herself, who is very childish, and I like her for that. I think it's so much fun. She's just great. She's over the top. She's emotional. She loves her food. She's just someone that is constantly pretty much like a child and just trying to play catch up with school and things like that, but will do whatever it takes to defend Earth and defend her morals and her friends, and I think that's amazing. So this is just a lot of silly fun, but again, I think summertime is the perfect time for a bit of silly fun. So there we have it. Those are my 6 summer book recommendations. Obviously there's a lot more, and clearly I went on a bit of a mythology inspired binge there because, well, it is amazing, and it's definitely what I am enjoying at the moment. But there are so many more books that you could add to this list, so let's do that. Let me know in the comments below what are some of your favourite books to read during summer if you are a seasonal read. I would say I'm becoming more so, but also I will happily pick up a book if I'm just feeling like it. I also think summer is a great time to read fairy tales, so I was tempted to add the Grimm's fairy tales to this collection as well, but a lot of those are darker, so I'm not sure about that one, and I haven't enjoyed every single one of them. But I do just think summer is that time for fairy, magic, and just fun times, which I have tried incorporating throughout these books. But yeah, let me know what makes you feel like summer, and what would you relate that to a book, if that makes sense. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I know this was a bit of a shorter video, but I hope you've enjoyed it anyway. If you've made it this far, then let's put a sun emoji. Let's just go with a sun for summer, because England, we need that sun. I don't know where it keeps going, but we need that. You know, we're in summertime, people. Let's sun. We need it. Let's send positive energy towards that, because I cannot be dealing with 1 week of summer, which is what we normally get here. So I'd like at least like 3 or 4 weeks of sunshine. That would be amazing. Anyway, tangent. I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it that thumbs up, subscribe, comment to let me know that you're here. Social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the next one.